Hello, my name's Joel, and this is my assignment 2, Applied Learning Proposal for EAL 202, Developing Applied Learning Strategies within this. So basically, I'm going to be talking about all of these things. We don't have a lot of time. I'm going to try to get this into 15 minutes, and I think there's a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. So TAFE offers level 4 classes that are unique in Queensland. Only TAFE Southbank offers level 4 classes. So it's an important point of difference and a unique opportunity for TAFE Southbank to offer these classes to higher level students. There are level 4 classes in other states and they use different curricula. But because the level 4 classes in TAFE have been shrinking, um, there needs to be more thought put into the program, I think, and that's where I'm going with this. I'll be looking at the applied learning principles from the Victorian Curriculum and Assessment Authority. So I won't go into all of them in great detail, but they are worth looking at, particularly when we know where the learners are at, negotiate the curriculum, connect with the community and real life experiences, integrate learning using a range of skills, and promoting diversity of learning styles and methods. TAFE also has its own learning and teaching principles and practices, and they are embedded in this presentation. Also, it's related to TAFE's Queensland's Educator Capability Framework. But all of these things, many people will already know, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail explaining those things, just that they support thinking behind this presentation. As well as all of that, the Australian Professional Standards for Teachers, especially when we're talking about know students and how they learn, okay, engaging the students, providing feedback, reporting on student learning. These things are relevant to the C program that we deliver. So our learners, so if we think more deeply about our learners, we'll see that there's more emphasis needed on the level 4 cohort's needs and context. And that relates to the applied learning principle 1, start with the learners at, connect with communities and real life experiences, promote diversity, and assess appropriately. The professional teaching standards, know the students and how they learn, understand how students learn, differentiate teaching to meet the specific learning needs of students across the full range of abilities, make consistent and comparable judgments, and interpret student data. And just to think about that students need to be at the centre of their own learning, and that we need to be aware of that so that they're not repeating the stuff that they've already done before and that it's relevant to them. So let's get into the problem then. So basically, we've got this class 4FS and it gets C students. It often doesn't have enough students. So to try to fix that problem, I encouraged AMUP students to join, and we normally get up to 5, and then we also get some N students. And students are people who pay money to do the course. C students, the money is provided by the C program, and AMEP, the money is provided by the AMEP program. Sometimes AMEP become C students after they've finished their AMEP hours, and then C students can become fee payers if they want to. And we've had students do that, and I think that process needs to be streamlined and steps being taken to do that. There's talk of including high-level LLN students in the class, and I think that could be a good idea. Especially if we can get some people that are sort of close to the same level of academic skills as the other students. And they might actually become fee payers in themselves. And I think one stream that could be explored would be for L1 students who wish to pay just to improve their skills before they start a TAFE course or something like that. So that's a possibility for another customer, another type of customer to join the program. I think we could also look at youth. Maybe there are people who are between high school and university that would like to touch up on their academic skills. And I think also that there's exciting um, things that we could think about, including online study in this program. And there is a niche for that because 4FS students tend to be able to study independently, and online might actually help them a bit more fully. So I've got some questions because what can we do to promote adult academic skills for this program? I know that I've been told before that there's issues with promoting a specific program or class within the C program. So it would be great if we could actually advertise it or promote it as an adult academic skills program for fee payers to join. And also, I think the feedback that I get from my students is that at least 50% of them or more are interested in achieving a certificate. We have stopped doing that a couple of years ago, but I wondered whether we could use that in the 4FS program to encourage people to study with us for 6 months, and that if they could achieve that certificate, they might be interested in staying longer and getting some sort of FSK. I think the important thing is that we need to be flexible and adaptable. I've tried to do that. That's why I opened up the class to AMEP. Nobody else does that at South Bank. And I think that I'm always tinkering at the edges of this class, trying to help the students achieve what they want to achieve. And I also regularly get feedback from them in the terms of face-to-face interviews and little side surveys that I do on top of all of the other stuff that TAFE does. So I am interested in trying to improve this course and willing to make changes as. So talking about the environment, there's not a lot we can do about the environment. Um, there's lots of stakeholders involved, and they all have their own policies and ways of doing things. There's really not much that I can do to change that. And I think considering it's one class, we're better off to work within the guidelines that are there and try to come up with a way that we can sort of achieve what we want to achieve um, within the parameters that are set by all of the stakeholders. So At the moment, the curriculum the, that I currently offer include the Certificate 2 in Skills and Education Training, Employment and Pathway, and the Certificate 2 in Skills for Work and Vocational Pathways. These other ones down here are offered in lower levels, so these are the two higher certificates. Unfortunately, we never got a level 4 certificate for itself. This is also delivered by level 3, and technically so could this one. It would be lovely to have a level 4 only curriculum, but was never created, and that whole project seems to have been shelved. So just looking at what we have to work with is that. Luckily, a rewrite of the Sizzle curricula has been submitted, and there is a new FSK that was released in 2019. So there's new things to work with. Plus, I've learnt that things like the Certificate 2 in Leadership is offered in Western Australia TAFE, as well as other certificates in education for adults. So this is the plan that I thought that I could use. So maybe offer more focused on delivering that FSK Certificate 2. And you can see that there would be 2 phases taking 1 semester, and there would be 7 units each. So that means that a fee payer could maybe do all 7. I'm not sure of that. They normally do 4, and a C student or AMEP student usually do 1. AMEP has other restrictions. They have to do a sizzle unit. So that's why I've got that green AMEP thing there, so that in both phases, an AMEP student could at least do 1 unit. But the idea is that they would do some of those units in their previous study as well. So they wouldn't have to do all of them in 4FS. They could just catch up with the ones that they don't have. Um, and hopefully be able to gain a certificate, and that might give motivation to people to stay in the program. And of course, it's adaptable. It all comes from the certificate offered on training.gov.au, and you can see that I've included the 5 units from or less from Group A and the 5 units or more from Group B. You can see that it's all color coded. 3 units from the other training qualification. So that would be enough for them to get that. So I think it would be good for the students, um, but it would be a lot of work. So it's more that something that I could perhaps work towards over time and start developing clusters of units to deliver, and so that they might tie into each other. For example, presentations of writing materials and stuff like that. It would be great also if in the future we could add work experience. I've had a lot of people give feedback that they are interested in that, and work experience is advertised on the TAFE website. Um, and but if we can't do that, at least having a certificate might make them stay longer, and of course we would remain adaptable in delivering that. So here are the advantages of taking on this program. Basically, it caters for all of the different groups that might join. It delivers all the different skills. It encourages students to stay for the whole time and also at least do 2 terms. It allows students to get credit for previous studies, and it builds upon previous study, and also delivers the sizzle curriculum units that we're required to, and provides a logical container for the students to study within. Thanks for listening. Here are my sources, and you're welcome to check them out. Hopefully, something good will come of this, and that I can work towards this sort of thing. So thank